You know, every single night, we all visit this hidden world. It's a universe built from our own memories, our fears, and our wildest desires. But what if you weren't just a passive spectator in that world? What if you could actually wake up inside your own dream and become its director? Well, that is the incredible promise of lucid dreaming, and we're about to dive into how it's even possible.
I mean, listen to that. That's how one of the early pioneers, Oliver Fox, described his very first moment of awareness inside a dream. It's this feeling of pure exhilaration, of suddenly realizing the very fabric of reality is yours to command. It's that feeling, right there, that has captivated people for centuries.
But, before we can go exploring this amazing inner world, we really need to understand the map. So let's break it down. What exactly are we talking about when we say lucid dream? At its core, it's actually beautifully simple. A lucid dream is any dream where you have that aha moment, that sudden realization that, wait a minute, I'm dreaming. That one little spark of awareness, that's the key. That's what unlocks everything.
Just think about the difference. In a normal dream, you're basically a moviegoer. You're just sitting there passively watching some chaotic, bizarre film with zero control over what happens. But in a lucid dream, you jump right out of your seat and into the director's chair. You become an active participant, you're consciously aware, and you have the potential to shape the entire experience.
Now, this might all sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, I get it, but it's a very real, well-documented neurological phenomenon. So let's take a look at the actual science of what's happening inside your brain when you dream. Okay, so every night your brain goes through these cycles of sleep. You kind of drift down through these lighter stages into a really deep sleep, and then you come back up into what's called REM, which stands for Rapid Eye Movement Sleep. And during REM, your brain activity just spikes. It almost looks like you're awake. This is it. This is prime time for your mind's most vivid, story-like dreams.
So what's actually going on with our brain chemistry? Well, as we go into REM sleep, the neurotransmitters that control waking logic, serotonin and noradrenaline, they basically just take a nosedive. That's why dreams can be so weird and illogical. At the same time, acetylcholine, which is linked to memory, ramps up, and dopamine kind of kicks off the whole process, creating that immersive, motivational drive we feel inside the dream.
For the longest time, though, this was all just anecdotal. I mean, how could you actually prove it scientifically? Well, this psychophysiologist, Stephen LaBerge, designed a totally groundbreaking experiment. He had people, while they were lucid in a dream, signal to him in the real-world lab using a prearranged pattern of eye movements, like left, right, and the machines recorded it. It was the first objective, scientific proof that consciousness could absolutely be maintained during sleep.
Okay, so we know what it is and we know it's real. The big question, of course, is how can you do it? Let's get into the practical techniques, the how-to.
I want you to stop and seriously ask yourself this question right this second. How do you know you're not dreaming? This one simple question is the absolute foundation of the most powerful technique for triggering a lucid dream.
This little check is called a reality test, and the idea is to do it many times a day while you're awake. Just look at your hands, they probably look normal. Look away, then look back. Still normal, right? By turning this into a habit, you'll eventually automatically do it inside a dream. And in a dream, your hands might have 6 fingers, or they might look blurry or even melt, and that's your trigger. That's what instantly tells you, oh wow, I'm dreaming.
Another really powerful technique, also developed by LaBerge, is called mild. And it's all about setting an intention. As you're falling asleep, you just repeat a phrase to yourself, something like, next time I'm dreaming, I will remember I'm dreaming. What you're doing is planting a seed in your subconscious. You're basically setting a mental alarm clock to go off the next time you hit that REM stage.
Okay, so you've been practicing the techniques, and then, one night, it happens. You become lucid. Now what? Well, this is where the real fun begins. This is where the true potential is unlocked. The dream world becomes your personal laboratory, your ultimate simulator.
What's the number one thing most people want to do? Fly. And yeah, it is as incredible as it sounds. Just imagine soaring over cities that you've designed from scratch, or through massive canyons, or even flying into outer space with absolutely no physical laws to hold you back. It is the ultimate expression of freedom.
Lucid dreaming is also an incredibly powerful tool for therapy. If you suffer from recurring nightmares, you can actually turn and face that monster, ask it what it wants, and realize it has zero power over you. You can practice confronting any phobia you have in a perfectly safe and controlled environment.
Now this is what's really amazing.
Your brain doesn't really know the difference between practicing a skill in a vivid dream and practicing it in real life. You can rehearse a huge speech, perfect your golf swing, or even study for an exam by running through the entire scenario. It is mental rehearsal at its absolute most powerful.
So just how realistic can all this feel? Get this. LaBerge's research found that the body's physiological response to sex in a lucid dream is practically identical to the real thing. It just goes to show you that this isn't just thinking, it's a full-body, totally sensory experience.
Now, as you start to explore all of this, you're going to run into a really fascinating debate. Some of these experiences feel so real, so different from a normal dream, that people start to wonder, is this just a dream, or is it something more, like an out-of-body experience, or even astral projection?
So let's just look at the two main viewpoints here impartially. The esoteric view says that astral projection is a real journey of your consciousness to a separate plane of existence. The skeptic view, on the other hand, suggests it's a particularly vivid and distinct type of lucid dream, one that might start directly from a waking state, but still originates entirely within your brain. Both sides describe these incredible experiences, they just have different explanations for where they come from.
But here's the thing. No matter what you call these experiences, the skills you develop in the dream world don't just stay there. They actually have a profound impact on your waking life.
The writer Carlos Castaneda called this practice stalking. And no, not in a creepy way, but in the sense of tracking your own consciousness. That heightened awareness you practice to become lucid in a dream, where you're noticing details, questioning reality, it starts to bleed over into your day. You find yourself becoming more present, more mindful of the magic in your everyday, waking reality.
And all of this practice leads to some really tangible, real-world benefits. You're tapping into the raw creativity of your subconscious to solve problems. You're safely confronting anxieties in the dream world, which actually reduces your stress in the real world. And ultimately, you're exploring the farthest corners of your own mind, which leads to this profound level of self-awareness.
You see, in the end, lucid dreaming isn't about escaping reality. It's about enhancing it. That whole third of your life you spend sleeping doesn't have to be a passive blank slate. It can be an active playground for growth, for adventure, and for self-discovery. So I guess the only question left is, if your dream world had absolutely no limits, what would you explore first?